Okay, boys and girls, here we go with topic 4, lesson 2. We're looking at the first problem here, and it says, does the scatter plot show a positive, a negative, or no association? Now remember, we went over what a trend line was in our avid note-taking session at the beginning of class, and a trend line, remember, hang on one second, I'm going to change my size of my pen down so it's a little bit smaller. A trend line shows the pattern in the data. So this trend line would look something like this. Not, well, maybe something a little more like that, right through the middle of the data. And that obviously is showing a negative association, because as x is increasing, y is decreasing. Okay, next problem says, determine whether a scatter plot of data for the following would show a positive, a negative, or no association. So we're looking at temperature and winter coat sales. So let's see, I'm going to change the size of my pen, make it a little bit less, something like that. Let's make a graph, and we'll put temp down here, and we'll put coat sales, we'll just make a $sign. Okay, so let's see, as the temperature increases, meaning as the temperature gets warmer, let's change the color. So as the temperature gets warmer, increases, what's going to happen to coat sales? That is clearly going to go down. So that trend line should look something like this, where there is a negative association. So let's go ahead and mark that. There you go. Next problem says, a sociologist is studying how sleep affects the amount of money a person spends. A scatter plot was made showing the results of the study. What type of association exists between the amount of sleep and money spent? Well, I bet you're picking this up pretty quickly. If we draw a trend line through the middle of the data, it would look something like that, and that clearly is a positive. Hang on, let me make that bigger. That is clearly a positive association. Can you take a moment to pause the video and explain to yourself, or write down in your notes, what a positive association means? Or just think it to yourself. Okay, hopefully you thought to yourself that positive association means the same thing as positive slope. It's also the same thing as the words increasing and positive slope, positive unit rate, positive rate. Okay, all those things mean the same thing. Do you remember? Next problem. The scatter plot shows the average height of people ages 2 to 12 in a certain country. Which of the lines shown is a reasonable trend line for the scatter plot? And look, the key word here is reasonable, meaning which line explains the height of people aged 2 to 12. And basically in any country this is going to be true. So it says use paper and pencil, and you can do this in your notes. Okay, think about it. If you have a graph and age is plotted on the x-axis and average height is plotted on the y-axis, what would you expect to see? Meaning, as someone gets older, as their age increases, what is going to happen on the y-axis to their height? And I bet you can see clearly that the line that shows a positive association, hopefully you can understand that height is going to increase as age increases. But there's a certain line in the data that definitely represents the data by going through the middle of it better than any of the others. So let me see. Let me highlight it. I think it's this one right here. Do you agree? So what line is that? That is line T, right? There you go. Okay, next problem. It says to think about the process. How do you know if a scatter plot shows a linear association? That's what I just read right there. What type of association, if any, is represented by this scatter plot? Okay, well, you know that in the word linear, okay, this word right here, oops, hang on, I gotta make my pen a little bit smaller. In this word linear right here, see that? The word line is there, and so we're looking for data that makes a straight line on the graph. So we would know that data represents a linear association if, let's see, A, the y values change with respect to the x values at a decreasing rate. No. B, y values change with respect to the x values at a varying rate. No. C, y values change with respect to x values at a constant rate. Ding, 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 ding. That's what makes a linear. Do you remember that word constant? That's what makes a linear association. The x and y values have to change at a constant rate. Okay, so that's the answer. And now we have another question. What type of association, if any, is represented by the scatter plot? And so you can see that the data is sort of going down, but not in a straight line. It's curving, and so we would say that that is what? That is a non-linear association. Okay, boys and girls, you're doing great. I hope you're taking a little bit of time at the end of each problem to digest what I told you and understand it. And of course, if you have any questions, you should be raising your hand, and I can come around and help you understand anything that's in this video. And also, as you start your homework assignment, I'm here to help you. So don't be shy. Okay.